guys. Today we are in Mt Glorious, Mt Nebo, back in Brisbane, and we're doing a little bit of explore. We're going to look up Bankscreek Middlebranch. So, got a bit of a long walk, long fire trail. Unfortunately, all these tracks off this western ridge are quite, long distance to get to any of the big gullies. So, I've got to walk along the main road for a little bit because parking here is fucking shit for the fucking Dundas Road entrance. So yeah, we'll see how we go. Road, this is the spot. I could have actually almost parked here, but if you block it a bit, I'd park it there, make it easier. So this is a weird little thing too. There's a transfer station in here, and you've got this track here which goes up. And if you look on your map, there's another little road that also joins this one, just on the other side of this hill. And it's got a gate and says you can drive into the transfer station. So I'm like, what? So, no, it's weird, but you can't drive in, and it says don't park there for the national park. So I've come around here and they've got this track, which is hectic steep. And yeah, obviously parking is crap. But anyway, so we go along the ridge for a bit, and we've got two options. One is, depending on how thick the side bush is, I reckon there's a lot of lantana in here, so it's not going to be probably the best luck for it, but we could cut in a steep trib and cut into the falls and save a little bit of time. Now there is potentially 3 tribs all branched off right in one spot. So 3 good waterfalls possibly. But yeah, other case is walk further along the ridge. It'll eventually go down. This juice sucks right now, it's all wet. Nice sunrise, sun's up now. Beautiful clear sky day, bellbirds. Beautiful power station pole. So yeah, basically, the other option is to walk further, and the fire trail eventually will go down on a natural descent to the creek. We can jump on the creek without any bush bash because it will cross the trail. Here is our supposed road. Let's double check that. That looks fucking shit house. Maybe it's just in there. Let's try up here. Yeah, it's just a longer way, but you get on the creek more naturally, and then we'll just walk up the creek further, and then we'll just climb out the falls on the once we get up further, we'll climb up and do a loop back to the fire trail and bash the lantana then. We'll see how we go. This is a very weird starting track. This pile of green waste. So this is where you could have drove in here. I'm trying to figure out this friggin' fire trail. Apparently it wasn't on the trail properly because there was a fence and you actually find this gate. Oh well. Cool. Straight we go. Dundas Road. So it is the end of May. It was about like 17 degrees down off the range. As we climb up here, we're at 525 metres. It's dropped to about 14 degrees, but it's not cold, it's good. I was past one lady in the transfer station who looked at me like I was a crazy man, just wearing a jumper and stuff, and I'm wearing no shirt. But it's 14 degrees, people, come on, it's not cold. And I'll be hot before I know it. So also I'm wearing the Rocks sandal shoes, which I hope is the right choice for this hike. There's a lot of flat fire trail, but there is going to be the creek, and I just, yeah, would rather be able to walk through water without having wet shoes. So we'll see how we go. It's just going to be the exit. Bashing up will be the annoying part with the sandals on. But see, yeah, I've done a few hikes off the back of this range, and there's just always a lot of lantana, so it's just never easy just to cut into creeks, unfortunately. So we might have to do the longer version, but that's alright, we're preparing for it. I think the longer version is about 12 something Ks, maybe nearly 15 if I do the little trib explorations. So see how we go, full day anyway. Hopefully 6 hours, we'll see if it takes longer or shorter. There's not a massive section of falls in this creek. It's really just like one bit where I believe we could have 1 or 2 good falls joined together. That's my prediction, maybe 3 at the most. But they look good enough to be worth exploring. Now there is a Bankscreek left and right branch as well. I don't know what that firetrail is, but it's very overgrown. Which I'll explore at a later date, but today the middle looks like the best option for a waterfall, so that's what we're going to do. So we're going down a bit now, which is weird because we're on a bridge. It just kind of curves up and down a bit. Eventually it's going to be this gully over here, I reckon. So it kind of, if we go the long way to where the creek crosses the road to start, it's fairly flat for a long bit as the sides start to climb up. You get to the group of falls and then it actually flattens out again. So it's got a bit of time to build up water before the waterfall is actually, you know, dropping over the edge of the topographic section of lines. So yeah, I've made mistakes before where I've come here and done waterfalls with not much creek before the waterfall on the map. It's just dropping straight off the side of the cliff, and yeah, they can flow. They got waterfall attributes, but there's need to come in full rain for them to actually flow properly. So I've had a couple of ones that have been dry for that reason. So this is one where I've actually looked at it and gone, right, this has a lot more time for the water to get into the creek before it hits the waterfall section. So guarantee it's going to flow. I can guarantee that. So that's good. I've done a few of these during the last 2 summers, and I've always done it around December, January, and it's always been stinking humid as hell. But luckily now, being autumn, it is nice. Went out yesterday as well. I did a hike up the sunny coast, and I did Adlington Creek, back of Landsborough. Check that video as well. Got a few little peaks as well. Yeah, so basically, yeah, it wasn't humid at all yesterday. It was beautiful. So I expect today to be much the same. Some motorbike track in here. I wonder how he got his motorbike. Sneaky McSneak sneak. Alright. So, just enjoy the serenity of the fire trail. I don't think a lot of people use these fire trails, but they take a lot of time to maintain them, as you can see. They're just very cleared, very looked after. They probably don't have a lot of trees that fall down here, which is probably the bonus for them, but again, it's a real shame that I have enough. They don't have enough to do in this section of Diagolo National Park. Like, you just walk fire trails with limited views in most of the spots. So it's a bit sad that I don't make infrastructure to try and get to some of these waterfalls that are in all these gullies, and or, you know, I don't know, make some better tracks, cut some trees down to a couple of little peaks. So there are a couple of peaks that, you know, have names in here, and some of them don't even have views, which is really frustrating, which I figured out on one of my hikes earlier before, or twice now. But here's what it is. At least there are fire trails to get to them, that's something. I just wonder what that bird is. You know what that bird is? Comment for me. Alright, so happy days. I'll check in with you soon. That's enough chit chat for now. You. Alright, so this trail, there's a couple of trails that veer off. This is obviously one of them. Don't worry about it. Just go straight. There should be two more that veer either left and right. Then we're going to arrive at the Dundas Bush Camp. There's a couple of bush camps in here if you want to do overnight pack hikes that just basically walk fire trails, then this is your spot. And from that campsite is where pretty much bang on or slightly to the left on an angle like that is where our creek is starting, which we may be exiting up. So we'll just start taking note of that, how it looks. I think it's going to look like this. And I also have spied that on this creek where I have my waterfall section marked, it flattens it for a bit after it on the top, and there is potentially one more climb right near the very end, right near this bush camp. It may have dried out by then, so we won't hold the breath for that section, but we'll obviously climb up our section and then keep going, and then if there's potentially another waterfall, then sweet, there's a bonus. But if not, we're going to climb up and get out anyway, and we'll just probably go through that way. So anyway, we just need to find the best way onto the creek, and the best way is normally the less steep and the less full of shit, which means probably the long walk. But anyway, the old whipbird as well there. That's cool. I haven't walked this particular road before, so something new for once. I've done a lot more at Mt Glorious end. Yeah. See, lion lantana, unfortunately. It's one thing that's ruined this national park is the lantana's choked all the sides. If that wasn't like that, you get into these gullies just like we could just cut in and just go down it. Be steep, at least you could push through it. So, anyway, see how we go. Now, you could ride a bike along this fire trail. Could only save a bit of time. But then you have the option of leaving it somewhere near the bush camp and then carrying on down to where you're going to get on the creek and then come out, you know, after the creek hop back up to the camp to get your bike, which can work quite well, I guess. Otherwise, if you rode all the way to the start of where you're going to get on the creek, you rock up the creek back upstream, your bike's now down the other end of the road again. So, but anyway, I didn't worry about the bike today. It's only really going to help 3Ks maybe. Yeah. Now, it's all been logged in here before. If you've seen any of my other videos, I point out tree stumps all the time that have been logged. Just went past a couple, but I didn't show you. But anyway, so sadly, this forest is not original. There's a stump there, and that's why the lantana's invaded it so much too. So that is walkable. If you have some luck like that, you get down, it could be a different way of getting in. But you're going to get over this ridge and then down again over this node where the camp is. So yeah, look, that side's opened up too pretty well. Interesting. So it is your bush camp. This is probably one of the better bush camps I've seen in here because they've actually got a nicer structure and water tanks. Where the other camp I've seen has got no structure, one water tank, and it was empty because there was no roof to catch any water. There you go. This is information. I don't know what's in there. A book you can sign to say you've been here. So it wasn't very long of a walk to get to this camp. I don't know why you want to walk to camp here when it's like 3Ks. Like, it's not even a distance. Anyway, we've got a few trails going on here now. Boom, boom, boom. Just going to double check, but I think we're going up still, even though we're going down. I think that's the way it works. We'll find out. Alright, so it actually is the right lower road. Not right, but there was 1, 2 and 3, which is right. So we take this lower one, we are going to go down a bit. That other one has no name, this is still Dundas Road. So anyway, yeah, our creek will start now on our left once we get, and basically these roads will kind of deviate. As they deviate, the creek will start between them. So yeah, the other road's up on that ridge. So we'll see soon how it's going to be. I had a look in the little visitor box just to book. You write your name as usual. And I checked the water tank and the water was in there, so that's good. They're full of water. It's nice to have a fireplace with log seats, so it is pretty cool to hang out there. But fuck, bring your camping gear just to walk 20 minutes. Like, but I suppose if you want some rugged experience, then you know, have at it, people. Everyone has their thing. Look, this is my thing. So look at that. That's manageable to get through there, but fuck, I'd rather come out of it than into it. That hill there is nice and sparse now. That's because it's a hill. So you get into the gully, different story. Choked. Alright, so as soon as we get around this hill, this corner, it'll start to give us a gully where a creek is beginning. So I wonder if anyone's done this before. Shout out if you've done this creek, where I'm going today. Yeah, see what we find. I know that I've done another creek near Cabbage, and I know people have done that. Because 1, there was ribbons there, and 2, people talk about it. But I heard no one talk about this one, so yes. And I will be back here again soon because there are other creeks like that I'll use these other fire trails for. For example, that fire trail on the right, I could walk that in there and go to the left branch of Bankscreek, and not particularly that fire trail on the hill, but just back before the camp there was another trail that was veering off to the left, which I could follow that in. There's a creek called Branch Creek, so that's another way I'd explore that. So I will be returning this Dundas Road again for those other options, so won't be the last time I'll be here, people. It's the way it is. It's kind of a feeder road to the other gullies. So okay, so now almost I'll be somewhere about there. It's where our creek's going to start dropping down. We could be coming out of there later, we'll see. Not too bad. See, I can walk the creek in reverse and go down it, walk up the fire trail, but I would rather walk up the creek first. I'd rather start in water and climb up. Because if this ended up being dry, which it won't be, but if it was, and you bash all that down, all you find is dryness, it's pretty fucking shit because you've got to bash back out of it again. At least if you go this way, and you went around to the creek, where it naturally drops down to it, and you cross the bridge, and if it was dry, well then you just walk back the fire trail. You haven't bashed your time away and been frustrated. So, method of my madness. But yeah, so yeah, this is all the start of the creek now. You could potentially come out anywhere here, and how well it is flowing, and how well the creek stays not choked up. If it gets choked up early on, we might cut out earlier on. That's just the way it is. But okay, so we have walked probably, barely a quarter. We're going to walk the entire road of this creek now, basically. The creek just runs parallel to us the whole time. And as I said, the left branch is over that gully over there. The sun's over there, that's nice. I don't know how much people walk down here. Maybe they do like little day trips, maybe they ride their bike, maybe they camp there, do a little day loop, come back, camp again. Or maybe people just walk to their campsite, camp, and then go out again. Maybe they don't even come down here at all. Because again, like I said, there's nothing to quote unquote see. Alright, so we are separating from the creek now. So that is really like the closest point. The road's going around, as you can see. The gully's now over there. I mean, I could bash up on this spur. They've made this road the easiest way they can. Instead of following the ridge exactly, they decided to cut around the ridge on the side here. So if you wanted to keep watching the creek, or watch where the creek is dropping in, you could bash along that gully, also along the top of the ridge looking at the gully. But like I said, there's no real point because I know it's going to be thick over there and I have no intention of going in now anyway, so stay on the road. Eventually this road will rejoin the creek at a lower point, which is where we're going to get in. So it is fairly steep. The sides do start to get real steep. Like the exit is the kind of natural climb up. Is the way this gully works, it's like it's steep the whole way, just imagine that. And where I want to get in is the easiest, and where I want to get out is the easiest way. Like the gully naturally climbs down and then goes up and then climbs out again in the easy way. If you try to attack the sides, it's just too hectic. So you won't really win. But like I said, where my waterfall is, what I had an idea was to actually try to go down, cross the creek, and then actually go on the other side because it was less steep. So you essentially have to cut down into it to get to a trib on the opposite side, way over there, even though there was no road over there. This was the closer way to do it. And then from that other trib, you'd cut back in again. I think we're just going to stick with the original plan. We're not going to bother trying to cut over all that. That could be just a mission in itself. And even that trib doesn't look that steep. It still is kind of steep. So let's stick with a nice wide open fire trail, and I'll just talk to the camera. Alright, no more talking. Waterfalls next. Boom. Actually, just rechecking the map. You wouldn't have to actually. I thought I heard water for a second. I was like, what? You wouldn't have to actually, if you were going to try to cut in this trib in the middle of the creek where the waterfall is, what I'm saying, you wouldn't have to actually cut down across the creek and then around to go down the trib. You actually could go that other fire trail that I pointed out when we were at the camp. That fire trail will go wide and you have to cut off that. But it's a little bit less steep to get in to that trib. But it still could be Lantana, but it's less steep than cutting from this side. So that's food for thought. There's multiple ways to kill the cat. So we're sticking with this option. So you're going to come to a junction. It's supposed to be only 2 roads, but suddenly there's 3 here. So in case you didn't know, in the middle of the national park that they put a sign saying you're in the national park. Cabbage Tree Range, that's pretty cool. I didn't know this was called Cabbage Tree Range, now I do. Part of Brisbaneforestpark. Well, is it a forest park or is it a national park? You can't have both. Don't be greedy. Alright, we're going left, but so again we're following our creek, which is way down there. We'll be in there soon enough. Current elevation is 488 metres. So that'll be the, not the last junction, but there's a little random track halfway down this hill as we wind our way down slowly with a little note of no name with a little side track. Don't know if there's a view, but yeah, fun times. And as we get past that, eventually we'll have a couple more junctions before we get to the creek. So there'll be a side track coming off again, not for a long time yet, another couple of Ks, and then this will hit a T, and then when we get to the T we go left, and left will then cross the creek almost straight away, and then we go back up. There you go. Rightio, so see you soon. Random beehive boxes, don't see any bees flying around, but this random little node with no apparent name. This trail just veers up to it. It's not even down to view. It's pretty shit. I'll come back on the main trail. Like I said, there'll be another one soon. This wasn't the one I was thinking about. This trail wasn't on the map. Oh, trying to get for this spider web. We're at the next little node road. This is the node, that's the main trail to the right. So it's a short little track. I'm just curious to see why they've made it. If there's maybe a view, probably not. There's a chopper out there over Waterfall Dam. Oh, spider again. Bastards. I can get back on the trail from here anyway, it doesn't matter. Still very steep in there, as I was saying, down to our creek. So we're just trying to avoid all this. Now, to be fair, this would be good to cut in here. It's just so steep, but I was going to say, because our waterfall's only just there, would save a lot of pointless creek hopping, because I don't think there's nothing there. But it's all good. We stick with the plan. Might find some trib falls on the way, even though the creek's flat. But that's one thing to be optimistic about. If the creek's flat, we should be able to move fast. And if there's trib falls, well, that's a bonus. But otherwise, yeah, steep down. And then to our left, the waterfall's just there. But we're like halfway on our whole. Oh no, we're 3/4 now. 3/4 in the whole walk to get to the creek. So we might as well just do the extra friggin' whatever it is. This node road doesn't want to end. It's just up here. Maybe they were going to make the road this way and they decided it was just too steep off the other side of the nodes. It's like, just cut around the node. Just pretty much the node. See, I'd probably have no problem climbing out of the creek from down there if I had to, up the steep side. I just don't want to go down it. Especially with Tensted Lantana shit. Alright, that node track was crap, and we're heading back to the main trail, which is now a little bit separated but not too far away. There's an old fence here. One post, barbed wire, another couple of posts in there. So this would be a boundary on this ridge. Interesting, maybe they acquired it from farmer and then put it back in National Park. Alright, so the track just starts going down, which is finally what we want because it gets us to creek level. And eventually we can get in there. The camera can kind of pick it up, but you can see the whole mountain popping through there, which I believe is the back of Mt Nebo. What a big boy. That's cool. Alright, we're nearly there. Chopper's still flying around. They might be just doing just firefighting practice. Who knows? Alright, we're nearly there. Someone's got a bullet hole straight through that. Fuck me, dude. So this is actually a square of National Park that we're going left, and then our creek is there to go back up, obviously. There's a trail to the right, which is marked 20, but obviously it says here, keep out private property. So, yeah, obviously, yeah, the National Park boundary is right here. Old sign. So if they're sneaky, this is the ones with the motorbikes. They just come in here and they ride where they want. Up the ridge and back. Good luck getting them. Could be pretty good for them. They can explore all the whole ridgeline areas. Okay, we're so close now. Someone's been here. Imots National Park. Literally about 500 metres to go on a curve, basically. We're still gonna hit this T down here. and then it's back. But at least we've got no steepness for a long time till we hit the waterfall. Yeah, see you down at the junction. A bit more overgrown down here, but the junction road is full grass. Hey, I'm so lucky they mowed this. Otherwise it would have been a shit fight. We're so low in elevation now because down 100 metres, down from 5. So we're going to climb 400 metres back up again, one way or another. I hope that the creek's not choked at this low level now. And just looking how high the forest is beside me, I hope the creek is wide. I'm going to find out. I'm going to cross it any moment. We'll be just up at the end of that dark tree line. We're finally here. It's 9 o'clock. We've got water. It's clear water, nice river rocks. She's only dribbling, but I think because most of the water's underground here, that's at least telling me there's at least a reason to walk up this. Thank God. Almost thought we were shot then. Alright, into the water we go, and a little bit cold. I thought I would have had a bit more flow down this level, or this far down, but anyway, let's see if we can get around this first big pool. So the track continues, we're not continuing, we're just cutting the creek. And that's it, creek till we had enough of it. Alright, so we'll be flat for a long while, like I said, but that's okay, as long as there's somewhere to walk, I'll be happy. To show you how clear the water is again. It's really clear. It'd be nice in summer, but really cold at the moment. Definitely wouldn't want to swim off the gorge because this water is icy as. Well, this is good to walk in so far. It's not choked. Happy days. Long way to go. Yeah, I reckon I got to the trailhead about 7:30, and if it's 9, it's taking me an hour and a half to get all the way along it. So you got at least double that, if not triple at the worst, to go creek hop speed to get out. So it could take 3 to 4.5 hours, which is about what I expected, 4.5, and then you add the hour and a half is 6. So I recommend 6. So. Or estimate 6 is the word. So yeah, we'll see how we go. 4.5. Maybe quicker. There's a termite mound in there. So maybe 1:30 we'll be done. We'll see how it is. Alright, so if you lost your balloon, I found it. That's the problem with helium balloons. They're fun to let them fly away. They end up in creeks like this, so yeah, a bit sad. Unfortunately I can't carry that right now. Anyway, such is life. Now you can see here it's starting to get real steep, which is what we would have had to try to get down, so I think we made the right choice coming in the creek. As you can see, water's still flowing, still very navigable. Yeah, it's really nice to walk so far. Reminds me of England Creek, which I've done as well. And yeah, pretty much the same. Rock hopping sandals were definitely a good choice. There's definitely been a few parts where it was way too wild and lantana, and the best option was through the water. And if I had shoes on, it would suck right now because they'd be soaking wet. The water's not too bad, I'm getting used to the temperature now. So, there you go. Yeah, she's pretty choked with lantana. We would have had a shit time coming down. And for the time you're trying to save by taking a shortcut into the creek, think about it. You're going down steepness, which is slowing you down, and you're going down lantana. Look at it, you can barely move. Snapping one piece off at a time. It's quicker just to go down to the creek and go around, which is what I've done. Probably would end up here at the same time, to be totally honest. So, whatever. All good. Alright, so I think it's about 1K and a bit, maybe 2Ks before we hit our waterfalls. We've got I spoke too soon. I hear something already. Alright, so we're making good time. We're already halfway along the creek. Not the whole creek, but halfway between the start of where we jumped on the creek and halfway to the waterfall. So, good stuff. That little noise we heard was just this tiny cascade. Not really worth showing you. It just sounded more fierce because the creek's quite quiet, so it stood out. I might see a platypus, but I think the pools are a bit shallow, to be honest. That's a big slab of rock. Ooh. Interesting features, good gorgy. Check out this lantana hellhole on the side. The left side wasn't too bad. But anyway, really deep pool here. That is super deep. That's like, you know, platypus possibility, but not seeing one. Little cascade. Water's flowing good, so on will we go. We're not far off. We should start to climb up. So yeah, we've had no tribs at all. Definitely would dry if there was any. The first potential trib that could be good is coming up to our waterfall on the right. So we'll have a look at that on the way. We might become a detour up that for a little bit first before we continue to the main falls. And this is the trib where I was considering you could cut in on the right from that other fire trail. So again, we'll see if it's flowing, if it's choked, etc, etc. It might not even be a goer. So, alright, so this is our trib we could have come in potentially. It is flowing, as you can see underground here, but so is the other creek, but then up here water's coming through. So it's potentially a few cascades or even a couple of levels of falls not far up here. So I'm going to go to detour first, and then we'll come back. So hope we find something cool, eh? Alright, so it's worth it. So within 5 minutes we've already got 1, 2, and there's 3 level waterfall. So not massive flow here. It's kind of dribbling out from underground onto that rock again, but let's hope the next 2 sections yield a bit more water. I mean, this is only a bonus. We're not coming here for this, so not a bad size, kind of even bigger than I expected it to be. I wonder if there's still a level above it, we'll find out. That's a dugout canoe right there, people. Not even dug out, naturally dug out. Look at that. If it was raining in summer, this would be a bit more impressive, but anyway, here's what it is. Alright, so there's a little level in between that we couldn't see. And up again. Alright, so we'll call this level 4 because that level 3 was hidden, so this now becomes level 4. We'll climb up again. It's getting a bit steep, I should kind of go up that way. Can go that way too, doesn't really matter. It's annoying to have to climb up all these levels and then climb back down again, but that's the joys of exploring tribs. And alternatively you could just cut out this way and be done with it, but I want to see the main falls, so. And I still think there's, like I said, falls further upstream if we're not getting choked out, so it's worth continuing and staying on the creek. Alright, so I've climbed up the right hand side of level 4. It's turned into a bit of a boulder field, but still quite a section of lines to go. We're only really in the middle of them. So around this corner there may be another big drop again. We shall see. We've got around that boulder corner. We're still in boulder corner. There's another corner with more boulders. So let's hope there is another good drop and not just this all the way to the top. I can see a bit of a wet wall on the left there if that's the creek, or that's another trib dropping in. We'll find out. All the water's underground now, so whether it reappears is the question. So just go a little bit further and we'll find out. Giant boulder there to get over. Another level here. Water's reappearing. You can see we get up to the top of the ridge soon, the sun's coming out. So this could have been manageable to get down actually, but we just didn't know. And yeah, you still might have a shit fight of stuff to bash through between this and the actual trail, but anyway, we'll continue a bit further. Alright, so the next section, 1 and 2 levels, boom boom. Let's see what's above this one, around the corner. It's starting to almost plateau, so we'll see. Alright, so I went for a steep little, well not steep, but just narrow, tight section. Wasn't too bad. You come around the corner, we have another drop. It's going to bend again. The sun is just getting closer and closer as we're getting higher. But yes, we have to go back down this again. It's not too bad. Alright, so you just keep winding your way around. It got flat for like not even, I don't know, 10 metres. And you can see another 2 cascades. It's almost going to turn around. There is potential that there's still more things up here, little cascades. Because it's still flowing. It's quite long, this creek. But I'll go up above these 2. I'll try to turn around after that because I don't want to keep going all the way. I say try, but it's hard sometimes when I think I'm going to turn around and then I see something else in the distance, as usual. But anyway, I can always try to revisit this creek, this trib later, because I could come from this other track over here, make a different journey, and come, so I'd walk a different whole path. I'd walk this ridge track over here that I cut in and then loop out, back up this creek, and you know I can see it that way. That way I could focus on going back to my original plan. So it's not a bad idea. I was just trying it a little bit further, as I said. We're definitely losing our flow, but it's still pretty. This is a nice little cascade, actually. The water's still super clear. Alright, you see one more bit of rock up here. Maybe that'll be my turnaround. We'll just see. Oh, it's nice, even though she's not super flowing. The log's been there for a long time, rotting away. The water's still flowing behind it. We'll get above that, the sun's there, it might flatten out. Alright, so I climb up, another one here, little cascade, it's flowing. It's got a tree just fucking falling straight over it. So we've got spurs starting nicely on the sides and it's not too bad to walk through, so we really could come back and revisit this and come down these. I'm just going to go around this corner and have a look. It's very hard to turn around, people. You have no idea. Because you're just like, oh, what's the next bit? That's why this is so addictive as a hobby. Okay, it looks flat now. So if we get to this next corner and it's flat again, I will turn back for the moment. See a bit of a rock up there, but it's hard to really tell what's what. There's just the side of the creek, like side of the wall. But yeah, these spurs are nice and not too choked up to walk. It's really interesting. Could work out well. Looks like the creek turns and there could be a left fall there. Look, if it turns out, I don't know if I have the, well, I probably do have the time in, to be honest, but I was like, if I follow this all the way up and follow it all the way back to go up the other creek, I just don't want to be stressing out the other creek. Rock just rolled under my foot. See how we go. Get to this corner, make another decision, and look at the map again. Wait a while, you can wait right there, wait for me, thanks. There we go, so this is another big section of the falls which I knew was coming up. Should have turned around before it because I wouldn't have seen it. Now I've seen it, I've got to go up it. Classic Mark. You can hear it, I can't particularly see the water, but alright, so this is pretty bloody big, it's nice. I just got injured really fucking bad, my leg just got stabbed so deep by this fucking thing. I think I slipped on this rock and just stabbed into me the wrong way. I think my body weight pressed into the log, which just didn't help. Anyway, I'm fine, I can still walk. Just fucking maybe go owl for like a minute. Alright, so yeah, we've got a choice, like to climb up this and then have a look up and then keep going a little bit, or just turn around and try to come from the top from this later. It's probably a better idea. Could definitely get up. It's just a matter of a bash. Either way, it's going to be a bash. It's not easy to get around this. A bit of weight while we'll go up that tree there. Have a fucking problem with life. Probably the left looks better. They're both the same. Anyway, I'll probably just go up. Fuck it, let's do it. Alright, so this is the middle tier of it. I've climbed into it from up from the left. Yeah, we'll get to the upper. Probably can only climb for the guts here. And then we'll double back down. And then this last, so there's a flat bit and there's one more potential at the very, very start of the creek. It could be choked up by there, but we're not going to worry about it now. And I reckon if I go back and do the main creek, if I have time and feeling energetic and whatever, I can double back on this other fire trail and just maybe entertain, try and look at the last bit of this. Because I could probably do it afterwards easily because I'm already up out of all the steep stuff anyway. So, alright, let's get up to the middle, or the upper tier. Let's go up. Alright, we're up. So this waterfall ended up being bigger than the one that was lower down that I thought was going to be the main one on this trib. So there won't be anything bigger than that on this now. So the last one right at the end of the creek is probably dry and it's probably just a cascade of something like a few of these is my guess. But anyway, we may still entertain later. My leg is so sore, people. Fuck me now. It's like bruised, purple, but can't do nothing about it now. Even though I try and take care, things still obviously happen. It is what it is, and calculated risk is what this game is all about. Okay, so I think we're going back down. I just wanted to look around this corner. Yeah, she's drying out pretty well. See, I probably wouldn't even bother even trying to look at the last bit of this. Actually, I think we've seen what we need to see. We're pretty content. Bonus. So yes, I've taken it out to fuck around on this trib, but I've taken a lot of photos and talking to you guys. I could boot back out in about 30 to 40 minutes, I reckon. Yeah, pretty happy with this. Fuck, my leg is fucking sore. At least there's no bone fucking hanging out. That's what I was worried about when I first hit it. I felt like fuck, that feels more, you know, feels worse than usual when I hit myself. And I was like, please don't have a broken fucking shin bone hanging out because I don't want to deal with that right now. You never want to deal with broken shin bone. It's never a good time. You know, people say, oh, I don't have time to get sick. Well, there's never a good time to get sick, is it? No, we're pretty good. This is it. Let's go on that a little bit more. Only because I heard water. Fucking goddamn. I was like, what is that trickling up here? I'm pretty happy this is a good amount of the trib to see. I don't think it's nothing big. I don't know, it's about a metre and a bit. That's alright, bonus. That was alright, that was worth coming for that. Alright, we'll get on top again. I know. A little tier above. It's not too bad. Let's go around the corner again. We've got another nice drop again. They just don't want to stop for me. At least the sides look less steep too, so that's interesting. We're still going back down. One of these, what are they, the fan palms? I saw one yesterday, Sunny Coast. I didn't see one for a while. Then yesterday I see one, today I see one, that's funny. Alright, another little cascade dribbling. I'm still going up this trib. I haven't turned it around yet. Fuck now. See what's up here. Okay, so water's underground, all dried up. Either one. Let's go a little bit further. I'm just going to check this next corner. Double check my map. And I hear water again. It's definitely underground. It's really weird how creeks can do that. Just This trib just doesn't want to stop. Doesn't want to stop giving me something to look at. It's only petite, but it's pretty nice little clear pool. This water's just so nice. Okay, we'll go a bit further. Alright, so the creek splits. There's another little dry trip that will bend around. That will take you up to that other fire trail as well. I'm still going here. I'm always debating, do I just keep going and just fucking come back and do the other part and another whole trip, because I've ventured nearly 2 hours up here now. Who knows? I'm still curious. Just little things keep popping up. And it's still flowing, so I'm just like, alright, just go a little bit more. That's pretty cool. See, I would have missed all these. That's not crazy, but I liked it. It's a nice little, nice shape. Just enough water to make it worth a photo. Alright, so this is like another tiny little trib veering off, and you can see here it's really just turned into just, you know, basically the headwater where it's just seeping out of the ground. And it carries on for another friggin', I don't know, a few hundred metres. But no, we're pretty good. I'm not going to cut out. I'm going to do the mission back down. So it's taken me just under 2 hours to get up here, about an hour and 45. So now I'm estimating an hour to get back. At the most. I'm just going to go around the big falls and we're back on track. There should be no more detours, should be no more tribs. This is the only other longest trib that comes off this branch of the creek. So, alright. See you soon, hopefully now. Well, I've nearly had the junction again, but I found this cool white shell. It's a shame he's broken. You don't see a lot of white, you normally see brown or black, or even like a reddish colour. Well, I outdone myself. I actually got back in 34 minutes. So it's funny how much time I take fucking around taking photos. Probably could have knocked that 4 minutes off, I'll be totally honest, if I didn't have this fucking banged up shin, because that was fucking giving me a little bit more, you know, take some care here and there, point half a second at every step, because I didn't want to slide down and bang it up. I did, however, get a vine wrapped around, and of course it wrapped right around where I'm already injured, which just killed and came just that little bit more. Alright, let's keep going and get the fuck out of here. This is already just choking up just here. What the fuck, man? That's weird. We still got to find the main falls on this creek. It's not far away because the other one was just there, and the cliff will carry around, so we're going to hit it within 200 metres at least. Just gotta go around this wader wall that's hanging over the creek. I really hope this doesn't get choked up early, because the other ones seem to go for ages. Worst case scenario, we backtrack out and go back up the fire trail we come in. But I hope we can get up this no worries and loop out a different way. I'm glad we did the trib. Yes, it took some time, but whatever. It's like not even 12:45, so I've got time. Oh, I'm getting tangled trying to talk to you and hold cameras. The joys of filming and walking. Ow, stabbed in the eye. Oh, okay. Just that one bit of the creek made me go inland because of the damn wader wall hanging over it. Haven't had that much wader wall, so I've been fairly lucky. Oh, look at it. Hello. I'm not trying to push through that without cutters. Yeah, so he's not going to continue. It's just one unlucky section that just started growing there. Alright, see you at the falls. Our flow is underground again, but the other creek did the same thing. And it popped out where the falls was, so sweet. See you soon. A dry trib here with a nice bit of a slab of rock there, but it's not worth trying to clamp her up there because it's not flowing. I don't even know if that's really on Google, that one, but anyway, water's back. Tiny little flat cascades. The waterfall will be around this bend. Well, we've got a really nice deep pool here. Cool little cascade, but unfortunately, you can see a massive tree falling right in the middle of the photo, as well as this tree overhanging going to the right. Oh well, nothing more. Soon should find the first set of falls. So I got a deep little pool here, another little cascade. There's a bend, and I dare say our fall's going to be around this corner. I dare say this is the start of it, but it's not actually the tight lines. They're still around the bend, and then it's going to be a straight run. That's where that sun's coming from, I reckon. This is a pretty nice pool. Look how deep this is. A bit shady here. I don't think it ever gets that much sun, but it's pretty. Bit of a mission to get here, but for a swim. We've got a dry trib to our left, which again, I don't think it's on the map, but anyway, let's keep it going. Next little levels, climbing around and see what yields on the corner. Alright, just turn the corner, we've got 3 cascades, and we're going to turn the corner again, and then we should have our waterfall. This is still the bending. Look at this water and how cool that rock is, eh? It's really nice. Alright, next cascade. Around we go. Soon we're there, people, soon. Alright, next cascade, little one. The bend is coming. Surely this is going to be the straight with the falls. Look. Surely we're there. There's the boulder section, and then it's got to be it. So all these boulders probably rolling down from whatever rock was left in up there. Alright, boulders continuing, and we've got a dark little spot, and then it's got to be around that corner, surely. Surely, we're so close to the lines. A little bit of a cascade bit here. Alright, let's get up there. Really bouldery again. It's going to be actually interesting to get through this. Hopefully we can get over it. It looks dodgy from here. Looks like one massive one's wedged up high with a dark cave with nowhere to get through the back. But we'll see how we go. Otherwise I'm going to have to come back, climb up here and go along. Yeah. So we'll get up close and have a look. And there's a gap around the corner, and then that'll be our falls. I can see the sky like around the corner, so just gotta get over these boulders. Close. It's fucking crazy. Well, we'll get over this, we'll get there, we'll have another look. I think we're gonna have to climb up. Now snail just did a shit. That is hilarious. I've never seen a snail do a shit before. Alright, so yeah, there's no way you can get over that fucking boulder. She is fucking big. As I thought, you can't get underneath it. So if it wasn't there, you could climb up for the guts, maybe. There's still a tree wedge in there as well. Like, it's a really gnarly fucking gorge. That's crazy. Even climbing over that last little section was almost a mission. I couldn't get up, nearly. Alright, so I'm gonna have to scurry up the side of this, get up and along. And it looks like it can drop back down again, and the waterfall's just there around the corner. You can fucking see the opening of it. So that's all good. It just sucks. This is cool, this canyon, but it just sucks that I just can't get through it, eh? Who would have thought this is hidden down here in the Mt Glorious? It's fucking just massive. Well, this is turning hectic, and I didn't expect this at all from these lines. So I had to go up, and the thing is, it just becomes super fucking steep, and there was no way to cut back down in the creek again. I thought there was over those boulders, but it just seemed to be no. So now I'm super high with super drop off, and now you got to find a way in. The waterfall is between there. I can see glimpses of it. So we're just going to keep going this way, and hopefully have some luck to get down again. Otherwise, it's going to be a fucking shit from the side fucking view through the trees, which I'm not going to be happy about because it looks fucking huge. There's got to be a way to do this. Alright, we'll keep going. Well, I hate to say I'm foiled, but I'm fucking foiled, and this rarely happens. But this is just too steep to get down. I'm stuck by about 12 metres. You're going to need a rope. So you couldn't go either side. But look at it. Holy fucking, I only can see half of it. It just goes right up. So we're going to have to keep fucking persevering with the side of this steep shit. Eventually we can get on top. Or maybe you can cut into this middle level bit, whatever's there. I can't see properly. And then maybe you could climb. I don't think you can climb down. It's not going to happen. It's too hectic. Wow, it's a real shame. Fucking so close. At least it's flowing. But yeah, we could probably at least get to the middle, maybe, and then maybe we'll get to the top. Figure it out. Coo-wee! A little echo. Most of the water's getting trapped down in this gully, so it's not super crazy, but still would have been good to get down there. I could have got the base of those rocks, at least. Damn it. Alright, let's keep going. Alright, well, it's just forcing me up higher and higher because literally cannot walk sideways anymore. This is getting crazy. So, I'm up here in this dry sclerophyll section. You can see now the sun and the gorge. So, plan is I'll just keep trying to go right. I'm trying to get back to the creek, but I'm just not getting anywhere near it. It's just forcing me up and it's nothing to hold on to. It's just it's so vertical. I can't give you the degrees because I'm not a fucking degrees expert, but let's just say I'm not moving very quickly up this shit. It's getting better now. I actually can stand for a second, but before it was just sliding and just fucking little tree roots to hold on to, and it was just torture. I actually did not expect that, not at all, on this creek. Anyway, I'm going to get up here, I'm going to keep trying to get around, and then hopefully I can drop back in again easily. And if I have to double back to the edge of the waterfall, I will. Look at the view we're going to get up there, but it's going to be sick. Alright, so I've hit this gully now. The problem is this gully doesn't correspond with any creek on the map. I am higher than the waterfall, so this is naturally how I had to go. I tried to keep pushing that way, but it was just too thick and too steep to go sideways. I had to zigzag up. I've got a choice now, so I can dip down, cross this gully, and just keep trying to turn right, and then slowly I'll hit the creek, and then be above the waterfall. Or I try my luck with this gully and go down, but the problem is if it gets to something I can't get off, I'm going to waste a lot of energy to get back down when I just literally come up, which was a nightmare, and then I have to retrace the steps back up again. So I really don't know what to do. The problem is I can't see naturally on the map what this is. It's not really showing me on the Topo or the friggin' Google as even a trib. So yeah, I'm a bit worried about it, especially because it just took so much effort to get up here. I don't really want to go back down. I just kind of wanted to get on top of the waterfall. This might still get me there, but I just don't know. Maybe it curves, maybe it dips in halfway in the side. Yeah, it's just really hard to know. I think I'm better just trying to cross it. It even looks steep just to get in there, for fuck's sake. And then just keep trying to head that way. And the worst case, if I can climb down the levels from the top, back down the waterfall, I will try that. So, yeah, this is just frustrating. I can't believe this was so gorgy. It just wasn't, yeah, it wasn't what I thought was what the lines were showing me. Anyway, I tried to follow like a faint animal track before, but I don't think they know where they're going. I think they, you know, gave up and turned around as well because it become too hectic to go off the side. Like, how big of a dip is this? This is nuts. Holy shit. Just going to get across this is fucking so deep. I can't even see the bottom. Are you kidding me right now? This is nuts. Why is this turning so crazy? Surely I can get through this. I just can't see anything. Alright, I'm going to take the chance with it. Go across. Alright, got down to the creek. I decided to go right, follow to the edge, so there wasn't too much energy exerted to get here, which was good. As I thought, it's going to have big drops off, which just goes boom boom. I could get down this first one. I don't know if it's worth trying to figure it out, because it may. No, I just don't know if it's gonna, if it's the right place to go in. This is the question. I don't know. Really hard to understand what's going on here. Again, if I climb down, it's just exerting energy trying to go down, and then can't even get off the edge of the next one. And I'm pretty low here. I'd rather stay a little bit higher. I'm going to try to cut. I'm going to try to aim for the creek over here, and then hopefully it'll level me down, hopefully easier. That's my plan. I can always come back, and if I somehow get down the levels, maybe I'll see whatever this is from the creek when I'm over there. That's probably the best idea. Let's go this way. I think this is a bushman, correct me if I'm wrong. There's a few of them here. They like the dry area too. Right, so I made the right decision that basically don't go down that waterfall trib and come around, because now I can see the edge of this fucking top of this waterfall, and it's fucking huge. There's no way that I would have got down that other trib anyway. Fuck, it's a huge drop. What a shame. Hang on, I'm taking the fucking vines on. There we go. Finally got to the creek. Like, it was a natural way that kind of just pushed me away this way, but what a bastard that we can't see this from the bottom now. Fuck. This sucks really bad. Well, come back with the drone, fly the drone off the edge, we'll get a rope. Abseil it if you're real keen. Abseil the waterfall. Archie, where are you? But fuck, the water's flowing good too. And unfortunately, it is not easy to get to the base of this one. Can't believe it. Alright, let me climb down. I need my hands to get around this. I'll try and show the edge. It looks like it'll be a good view. Maybe climb down this. Like, it looks slick, but I can get to there, and then I've got to maybe cut inland a bit. I'm going to get around this rock, see, that's why. I could just go over that and go down. Not easy, but if I can get on the next edge, I'll be able to see the main section. It's a really cool shell. Quite thin too. So we are down one level. Look at this. So it looks like it's at least a 3-level waterfall. It's pretty epic. And I'm just trying to meander my options. I can almost get down this, but I can't. It's too slick right there. I don't trust it. That part there's a bit sketchy. I've got one option. I'm going to try and look at the tree. Maybe there's a way I can't see behind this rock, but I don't think so. Well, I'll try and have a look. Anyway, we were somewhere, I'd say directly across, getting a half block view of this, so we can't see the bottom level. That's just the way it's going to be. But yeah, I think that's 2 levels down there. I reckon it's 1, and then there's another. Looks like there's another drop there. So 1, 2. You know, call this 3. Then I'm on here. This little bit. That'll be 4. It's 5 if you count the tier that's kind of connected to it. And there was one that was also above, nearly 6 levels. It's pretty nuts. It's just so bizarre that we just couldn't get up this bit. And I think that waterfall was going to drop out here. I think that's the cliff there. I think I can kind of see it. So if we had followed the creek, we wouldn't have ended up there. We wouldn't have got off. But we maybe would have got an angle view of this, but maybe it would have been blocked by trees too. Here's what it is. Hey, we got at least, 1 or 2 levels of this, which is something. Yeah, the view, I try to get a look at it from over there. You almost can't see it. Unfortunately, it's not as good as you think. You can get a nice open view, but it's still a bit blocked. All right, let me just try this and have a look, but I don't think so. We'll just continue on up and out until the creek gives us no more. Oh, I didn't actually manage to get around that rock, come down that crevice. Super dodgy, but I'm here. I ain't gonna get any more. It's not possible. We've got the cliff wall here, all the way around. I can't get down that. You can maybe climb it up, but not down. I can't see, and it's too wet to even try. That's a full slide, so it's not going to happen. If you were to go up along the bush, maybe against that cliff wall, maybe. Looks like there's kind of a little bit of a bit there, maybe. That's if it's not too fucking choked up, if there is a path there. Maybe I'll look at that in a second, if that's possible. Maybe I can get to this other level here. That's pretty crazy. But yeah, now we've got our view. Boom! Not super crazy, but it's something. But yeah, definitely some effort to get here. This is insane. Alright, I'm going to take some photos of what's behind me, which is a little tier. Or maybe entertain getting to this cliff and see if there's a way down. If there's not, we're just going upstream. We've got to get on and out. We've got 3 hours to get out, so. Well, I gave it a red hot crack. I've come over here and I'm trying to get my way down it, but see the cliff there, and it looks like it's just super steep, it looks like. It's hard to tell on the camera, but yeah, there's some trees to hold on to. I could try to meander my way down, but I just feel like it's just a lot of energy. There's no guarantee it's going to be worth it when I get to down there. I can't see exactly what I'm sliding into. Fuck it, we just have to dream what the last 2 levels look like, alright? It's just the way it is. Alright, gonna get on and out. Alright, so we cut in about here. Now we're heading back upstream. This is the cascade, I don't know if I showed you before. The lines are pretty much got to flatten out, and then, like I said, there's this chance of one more set of drop way up where the creek starts, but by then it might have dried out and might have choked up. So I'm not holding my breath for it. This was really the main event. So I'm still going to stay on the creek just for a bit, and then if it starts to choke, I'm just going to cut straight up. It's steep either way, but I just got to get up and out to that trail. So no matter what, that's the option. Let's get at it, see what we find. All right, there's been about 4 of these cascades, just all about the same size, same flow, same shape even. There's another little one up here, and we'll see what's coming up next. All right, so the creek is definitely flattening out for me. Still flowing, still looks pretty. Some little rock formations, but nothing crazy. I've got the best part of 2 hours of daylight. It takes me an hour and a half on the trail, but then again I have walked half the creek, so that takes half of that time off. So I don't know, I'm still going to keep going a bit. There's little cascades here. I don't need to stress yet to get out, but yeah, we'll see how we go. Alright, another cascade. Just little things, that's all we're going to get now. Except if we get to the other group of falls, but I think it's going to be too dark by the time I get there anyway, even if I do get that far and have flows. So we'll find out. This might die, this creek, before then. Alright, so the dry trip on our left, we're nearly at the next set of potential cascade or falls. So we're making the right time because this creek's pretty flat. Alright, so the creek's, it's split to a little, like, 2 creeks side by side island. The other one's farther over there. They both look like they're equally the same. This has now got really choked up, so I'm either gonna abandon this right now, or I have to try and get back on the other creek and see if it's any better. I'm just going to try to push through this first bit of trees to see if it actually is only just this one fallen tree section that's a problem, or whether it's going to continue to be a fucking disaster. And if it is, we'll be cutting the fuck out because the water's nearly drying out. It's still flowing, but it's been less and less. I wonder why the other creek's over there. I might have to double back to that if this is bad too. We'll just see. Alright, so I managed to push through that. It was only that little section. Creek is dry. But now I've like committed to this because it's gorgy on either side. So I've got to get a bit further. This will naturally be able to climb up, hopefully. It's a bit hard to see now. We just walked over, we climbed over a whole bunch of logs all in one spot. It was crazy. Here is the start of the cascade for these last set of lines. So the water has kind of reappeared, it's trickling, but it's nothing impressive. We're just following this out because the creek actually is the easiest way out versus trying to get up that clearly. So this will naturally funnel us up. We'll just pop out soon. Hopefully not too thick. Wow, the water has reappeared, so that's just bizarre. So good thing we stuck with it for a bit longer. Alright, so that was pretty much my last levels, and now I just got to get out. Now it's turning to fucking shit real fast. This is fucked. So it's pretty steep there. If I go a bit further around, then try and cut, it'll be a bit easier to get up, like in terms of gentle slope. Gently slope. But the problem is, the creek's so choked up, it's no worse, it's no better than just going straight up the side. Oh, for fuck's sake, this is so fucking shit. Wow. It's gonna suck. Well, originally I wanted to cut out left back to the track we were on, but that hasn't happened. When I realised the lantana was just so severe on that hill and on the creek, I moved forward about a metre on the creek. I was like, nah, fuck this. Came back out about 2 or 3 metres back out of where I was, and just attacking the right hand side. It is steep, it's not what I wanted to do right now, but at least there's no lantana. It's just up. I'll hit the other track and I'll get out. So it seems to be the only good way. Good hold. This creek has proven to be much harder than the trib. It's crazy. Well, woo! We're finally back on a fucking ridge. Holy shit. And I've got internet. I've had it in flight mode, but I just chucked the internet back on once I realised I got up here. Now I'm not seeing the fire trail. I don't know why my map is not uploading. But come on, catch up GPS. But the trail does veer around a bit, so we've just got to figure out. Maybe we still got to go down. That's weird. Okay. I reckon we only got up to here. I thought we were way further closer to the road. Well, that's annoying. Alright, on will we bash. There's evidence of logging up on this ridge. I was surprised they didn't build the road along this ridge. Apparently that other track is down lower. Well, we're not cutting down to that. We're just going to walk through this because it's fairly manageable. And this will slowly wind our way around the elevation height of where the creek was supposed to climb up for us, but it was just because of the fucking lantana. I wasn't going to climb the boulders and fight with it. So this will naturally curve us around. We'll then probably cross the top of the creek, whatever's left of it, and we'll get back on the original track we were going to get on. So we'll just see how this goes. It's a bit disheartening because I thought I'd planned it that the other track was on this ridge, which normally they are, so it's a bit bizarre. Anyway, a little bit of lantana, but nothing I can't really get around here. It's much drier, so it's a bit more sparse, so it's good. Okay, check in with you soon once I figure out where the fuck the road is. We're going down a little bit off this node, but that's alright. We'll keep veering left. That's what the fuck I just came out of. Holy shit. I'm glad that day's fucking over. Oh man, that just turned so torrential. Trying to get around those big falls took so much time. And then this bash out was just, yeah. You know, I expected the bash out to be annoying, but fuck, it's just, woof. It's hard work, people. That's all I can say. Don't come in here with fucking your favourite clothes on because you're going to fucking ruin them. That was a really cool experience, but still fucking sucked. Anyway, I'm on this other fire trail. So, I'm going to go up to the camp spot. I want to get a sunset photo, but the problem is there's no fucking lookouts in this place to get one. The sun's trying to come through there, look, it'd be awesome. I'm going to go to the campsite and wash my feet. And I've got mud caked all in my sandals. I haven't been in the water for a while, so it hasn't washed anything out. The lantana turned a bit shitty in the end, but at least I was up and not trying to combat it on a vertical slope, so that's something. Alright. Partial view, but you can't see shit. The sun is literally about to go right down behind that hill as we speak. There you go, look. Boom. So talk about cutting this to the bone with time. Now I don't mind walking out this trail if it's dark, but I just want to get out of that fucking shit, obviously. So I really pays to start early. I started at 7:30. I wish I started at 6. Like I wish I started walking the trail before the sun was up, and then start cutting in as the sun was up at 6:30. So I had an extra hour and a half, would have been good. But anyway, it is what it is. I've done it. It's the main thing. Because then I might have had a little more time to try and get down to the base of those last falls. But like I said, I gave it a crack and I don't think I could have done it safely and easily. And it's just, it compounds the stress of the later the day. You know you got to get out. You know you don't know what's in front of you to get out. And here I am trying to dick around, climbing down slippery ass rocks to levels that I don't even know if I can get down to. So yeah, I try and do a lot, but that's because I don't want to go back in there and do it all again just for that shit. So I've done well. I was supposed to just do the creek. I did the trib as well, smashed out both of them, and yeah, so I reckon you guys should smash the like button for me for all that effort, eh? You know, make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Hit the notification bell to get notified of all the new misadventures. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.